It's Friday, May 7, 2021.
Coming to you live from the economic capital of Nigeria, Lagos. This is Breakfast Central.
It is the TGIF edition of Breakfast Central on News Central. We are glad to have you join us today. My name is Olisa Chukuma. Good morning, Africa.
Thank God it's Friday. All right, the weekend is upon us and we are ready to bring you the latest happenings across the continent and beyond. I am Oluchi Inobong.
And we begin the show this morning with a look at the headlines. Well, gunmen abduct Abia State University students in the east of the country, Nigeria.
Still in Nigeria, service chiefs that meet Senate over rising insecurity.
Well, reasons to develop a healthy self-esteem. Don't want to miss that right here on Breakfast Central.
And in the world of entertainment, Burna Boy is making the waves once again.
We'll also catch up with our correspondent in Zimbabwe because the opposition party members have gained freedom.
Stay right here with us. In the world of sports, we have Manchester United, who has reached the European League final with Arsenal out.
Nice.
News Central ní ẹ̀ ń wò.
You are watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Now let's bring you up to speed with our top stories today. And we're going straight to Nigeria for this one with the latest in terms of abductions and also meetings out there in the Senate because of the latest proceedings there in the country. Now, Nigeria's head of security, defense and intelligence agencies appear to be before the nation's Senate in an effort to reveal ongoing strategies aimed at tackling and escalating the security crisis in the country. Now, the service chiefs, accompanied by senior officers from various security agencies, spent well over 4 hours in a closed-door session with lawmakers in the nation's capital of Abuja.
Our correspondent Amadine now joins us from Abuja for more on this. All right, good morning, Amadine.
Good morning, Oluchi.
Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central once again. Now, quickly bring us up to speed with the outcome of that particular meeting. Were there any resolutions reached by the Senate and the service chiefs?
Okay, first of all, you have to go back to history. This is not the first time that the service chiefs will be meeting with parliamentarians, though these service chiefs that were just appointed, this is the first time they are meeting the Senate. But over the years, we've had the Senate, the House of Representatives, summon service chiefs. Now, remember that there have been calls for, there have been condemnations over the escalating insecurity crisis. And this time, the Senate on Tuesday said that they wanted to know the way forward. They wanted to know the efforts being put on ground by the service chiefs, and they wanted to know how they can assist them to achieve their objectives, which is securing the territorial integrity of the country. So yesterday, the service chiefs, senior officers, also directors of the different intelligence agencies, they appeared at the Senate to brief lawmakers. And also, remember that of recent, the service chiefs had been calling for increased funding. They wanted to procure arms to be able to tackle this insurgency and this rising criminality holistically.
Well, Ahmadine, that's been the talk of many much speculation in Abuja yesterday, since we heard the news about the service chiefs going into that what they call so-called closed sessions with the Senate. Now, are we hopeful that these meetings will yield any positive results?
For me, who has covered security, in all honesty, I don't think it will get anywhere. And I'll give you my reasons.
Okay.
We've been fighting Boko Haram for a little over 12 years. And this administration came on saying they wanted to tackle terrorism. But unfortunately for them, the crime in Nigeria had metamorphosed. Now it had turned to a hydra-headed monster, with terrorism taking one head, banditry taking another head, kidnapping taking another head. Then some of the traditional insecurity crises we have been witnessing, farmer herders clashes, communal clashes, and the rest. So now it's a hydra-headed monster. What we need is a new strategy to tackle it. You can go to the Senate. They can give you...
Hello, Ahmadine. Ahmadine Uyi, our Abuja correspondent, if you're still with us live right here on Breakfast Central, we would love to continue.
There is a mechanism to be able to help communities. There is no first responder mechanism. The number of soldiers we have around the country, combined with the number of policemen, do not have the capacity to police every square inch of this country. So what we are looking for is a different strategy. A strategy that will involve the people, a strategy that will ensure that non-governed areas are being protected, so that criminals do not hibernate in these areas and launch attacks. So for me, at this point, it's not just a meeting with the Senate. It's not just an approval of another tranche of trillions to buy weapons. It's a new strategy to ensure that we are proactive, and this time we are not waiting for them to attack or to strike before we begin to think of how we rescue students, rescue kidnapped Nigerians, or stop whatever has already been done.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Abuja correspondent Ahmadine Uyi, for the latest on this one. But Ahmadine, do stand by. There's still lots to discuss, especially when it comes to security in Nigeria, as we move to another top story right here on Breakfast Central.
Now looking at the... All right, welcome back. Moving straight to one of the stories we have for you today. Gunmen, looking at the eastern part of Nigeria, Abia State to be precise, gunmen have reportedly abducted a yet to be determined number of students of the Abia State University, Uturu, which is ABSU. Now, according to a statement signed by the State Commissioners of Information, John Kalu, the students were abducted along the Okigwe-Uturu Road in the state. Now,
the preliminary information says that the students were moving in a minivan from Okigwe to Uturu between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. last night, when they ran into the armed gang who marched them into a nearby forest along with other yet to be identified travelers. Now, 2 of the students managed to escape from the attackers, while others are still being held at a yet to be identified location.
Now, the commissioner said they're working with the government of Imo State and relevant security agencies in both states to ensure the rescue of the abducted students and others. Now, the abduction is the latest in a series of attacks targeted at schools and students across the country. Abduction of students have also been recently recorded in Benue, Plateau, Katsina, and Zamfara states.
Now, we are now joined by political analyst Dr. Nnemeka Obiareri, who returns to breakfast this morning. Dr. Nnemeka, good morning to you. Now, what is really happening? Just on Wednesday here, 29 kidnapped students of the Federal College for Forestry in Kaduna were reunited with their families. And now, this one in Abia State, eastern Nigeria. What is going on?
It's quite unfortunate that a majority of us are yet to understand that Nigeria is at war. A majority of us are yet to understand that insurgency and banditry and kidnapping is now a mega enterprise with a huge ecosystem. Because there's a total breakdown of law and order. Our security architecture is so in shambles that we are not really taking any concrete and scientific steps to solve it. Interestingly, this incident happened right in my community. That is the community where I come from.
Okigwe, precisely?
Okigwe?
Yes, I'm from Okigwe, but it actually happened. In fact, when I heard this, I was scared because this incident happened right in my town. And it's quite unfortunate because the southeast is not like the north that has very huge landmass. And when you look at the location where this thing happened, when I heard people say they marched into forest, I asked myself, where are the forests? Within 3,000 hectares contiguous location in that area, there is no forest that somebody can match 6 people that cannot be seen. And let me tell you one funny thing. Unlike the northern part of Nigeria, the southeast is a place where people know themselves. If a stranger walks into my community today, 9 out of 10 of my people will know that this person is a stranger. We have not seen this face before.
All right.
So what we are seeing here is an organized business, an enterprise. We have, over the last 5 years, Nigeria has spent 10 trillion naira based on budget reports on security. Yet, rather than abate, the insurgency, the banditry, the kidnapping have actually extended to every part of Nigeria.
All right,
Nigeria
Doctor.
is at war, but we don't know it yet.
All right, Dr. Nnemeka, I would like to bring in Ahmadine into this. Ahmadine, looking at what we're talking about now, this incident happened the same day the service chiefs were called together to have a very important meeting, closed-door meeting, as it were. What do you think this means for the country, Nigeria as a whole?
Hello, Ahmadine.
Last time I talked, I said a first responder mechanism. I'm glad Dr. Nnemeka has just confirmed it. When these people come to a community, who accosts them? That is the big question. And remember now that if you are a criminal, what comes to your mind is if students are being kidnapped, in the north, you are hearing of ransom of 800 million. Students are being...
Hello, Ahmadine, are you still there?
All right. We still have Ahmadine. He'll be with us. But Dr. Nnemeka, coming back to you. Now, this is quite a big one because many will say gunmen. Which gunmen? Where? Abia State. Where? Okigwe and Uturu. How? And who were kidnapped? Now, students. Is it that it's now a lucrative thing to now pursue university students and in eastern Nigeria, northern Nigeria, or perhaps everywhere in Nigeria, students no longer safe again in this country?
When the United States of America warned us last year that Boko Haram, ISWAP, and the other terror groups were already marching towards the south, so we never took it serious. What they are trying to do, to them, their major objective is, they say education is haram. So this concentrated attack on schools, abducting students, is a way of putting fear into people so they will not go to school. So This is a school that has been in existence for over 30 years. So it must, see, and we have said this several times, the Nigerian military and police are overwhelmed. We have said it here over and over time again, that the only thing we can do is to devolve the security, allow state police, allow states to set up their own vigilante group and arm them with AK-47, not with Shakabula. Let me give you an example. Where this incident happened, if we have a state-financed and a controlled vigilante with AK-47, I know the environment very, very well. And these things are announced, and these security people cover all the track roads.
All right.
That this out of that town, they will capture this guy within 4 hours.
Dr. Nemeka would have to...
Within that environment,
would have to come because of time.
In 4 hours. I know the place very, very well. I grew up there as a boy. I found in those locations. Within 4 hours, a fully armed local vigilante will come the forest and fish this into us out.
All right, Dr. Nemeka, we understand the situation. It hits home because it's really your hometown, and you're pretty much familiar with the terrain of that particular environment. So we understand where this is coming from. But you know, talking about the policing and not having enough manpower in terms of the police and the military force. Now, the president, actually, this question is for the both of you, Ahmadine and Dr. Emeka. Would want to start with Ahmadine. Now, the president has been criticized for using the phrase appeal in a tweet. Now I read the tweet. I again appeal for the release of students of Greenfield University and all other citizens held in captivity. Would leave no stone unturned in ensuring that Nigerians live in a country where everyone can move where and when they want, without the fear of kidnapping and banditry, end of quote. Now, why would the commander-in-chief of the country, Nigeria, be pleading when he has the army, he has the navy, he has the police and other security agencies at his beck and call? What does this mean to you? Let's start with Ahmadine.
It's very clear that the president understands that he has lost it and that he no longer has the capacity and capability to be able to tackle these issues head on. Remember that one of the reasons why President Muhammadu Buhari was voted in was his ability to tackle insecurity. Because he came at the time when Nigerians were angry over the Chibok girls kidnapped. And Nigerians felt that as a former military general, one who had headed security agencies, had men under him, he would be able to do the needful. Okay. But unfortunately, I want to be fair to him a bit. He tried when he came on board. He tried to rally regional support. He tried to do the needful. But unfortunately, the insecurity began to metamorphose. It not only began to metamorphose, it began to spread to areas that have not witnessed this current kind of insecurity before. Just, I was saying the last time, if you had a criminal mind, you are probably in the southeast or in the southwest, you would be thinking, our colleagues in the north are making millions just kidnapping students. Why don't we enter into that business? Because it is definitely an industry. So for the president to appeal and not see what Nigerians need now is a new strategy. Dr. Nemeka said it. If you had first responders, you had vigilantes who were probably being supervised by the police or by the military, they had enough equipment. Remember that number one, they will have enough motivation. It is their ancestral lands. Number two, they have enough knowledge of the terrain. Number three, they have enough human resource because they are on ground. So they are working with the community. When these three factors are in place, knowledge of the terrain, equipment, motivation, and the right number of people as first responders, no criminal will be able to go to any locality, because the moment you reach any community, within 30 minutes, you see people coming to accost you. What are you doing in our community? What is our mission? So you are just like an AK the bird that says that since they have learned without shooting, I have to learn without petting. So what you see now is that you don't have any place to stay and operate. And then the security is proactive. And we are not waiting for you to kidnap.
All right, Dr. Nemeka, I suppose Ahmadine just passed it to you from here, Dr. Nemeka.
In fact, his submission is spot on. See, but I'm surprised that he's fair to Buhari. I'm not. See, we should be fair to those that have lost their lives over the last 5 years. 10 trillion naira wasted. The only solution is for us to devolve powers, allow state police. Let us stop deceiving ourselves. Let me tell you, if we have a state police arrangement, local vigilantes fully armed with AK-47, I tell you, I know that terrain very, very well. Within 2 hours, they will have captured those guys.
All right. Okay. Dr.
I can even imagine it in my mind's eye how they will move within those localities.
Well,
there is no forest there, no forest whatsoever.
I'm sure, Dr. Nemeka, you'll be following up with your, kinsmen and people over there in Okigwe, because we'll be following this story because it's a huge one. Students of Abia State University kidnapped. So thank you very much once again, Dr. Nemeka, for coming on this program, political analyst, and to our Abuja-based correspondent, Amadine Uyi. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is quite a sad story. I mean, on a day where the parents were rejoicing, having reunited with their children on one arm, and the other side we have a little
service chiefs
having their
went
meeting,
went to
Senate, and then on the other hand, you have Okigwe now on fire. I mean, it's really hot. I can imagine how people there they'll probably be sleeping with 2 eyes open, not even 1 eye is open. But of course, we'll be watching and monitoring to get updates on this. All
right, still Breakfast Central. Olisa and Oluchi right here for you. Up next is Africa Report.
A very good morning to you too on this lovely Friday morning, or rather should I say a chilly Friday morning down south. Okay, so one of the stories making the headlines, or rather that has gotten people talking, is that of the release of Zimbabwe's main opposition political party, MDC Alliance members, Joanna Mamombe and Cecilia Chimbiri. The 2 ladies were arrested on the 5th of March of this year, and they've been in incarceration at Chikurubi prison for the past 2 months. The ladies were arrested for what authorities call breaching COVID-19 regulations. So how did they breach COVID-19 regulations? Well, the ladies were arrested after they were found addressing and giving a press briefing on the steps of a Harare Magistrate Court. And in this press briefing, the ladies were calling for the release of pro-democracy campaigner Makomborero Aruzivishe. Is currently serving 14 months of jail term at the same prison where the ladies were, and he's being charged for resisting arrest and inciting public violence. Joanna and Cecilia actually have 3 other cases that are currently pending at the Magistrate Court. The ladies have been accused of a number of cases. One is insulting the police, the other one is undermining the police authority. However, over the past 3 years, the ladies have been in and out of jail a number of times. They've been accused of different allegations. Some of them are lying about being abducted and being sexually harassed. They've also been accused of undermining the ruling government. They've also been accused of inciting public violence. So the ladies have actually seen so much of the inside of the cell these past 3 years. So on their release, the ladies were told, and as part of their bail condition, not to address a crowd of more than 50 people. The ladies were released on 20,000 RTGS, that is Zimbabwean dollars, each. Back to you.
All right. right, thank you, Lala. You're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Now, to some people, self-esteem might mean different things or might not even sound serious. But the truth is, low self-esteem can negatively affect virtually every facet of your life, including your relationships, your job, and even your health. Now, self-esteem is often the result of a lifetime of experiences, and particularly what happened to us as children. But the good news now is that you can boost your self-esteem by taking cues from different types of mental health counseling. Now you need to join me this morning to fully understand how to build self-esteem and positive self-esteem. We have with us personal development coach, Mrs. Emem Wogogo, in the building. Good morning, Mrs. Emem, and welcome to Breakfast Central.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be here.
All right, let's just begin now. Let's start with the proper foundation, talking about self-esteem. What exactly does it mean?
For me, I think a healthy self-esteem is someone who believes in themselves, someone who understands who they are. They have already discovered their talents, their ability, their potential, and they don't look down on themselves. They don't feel that they don't have anything to offer the world. So someone who has a healthy self-esteem thinks very highly of themselves, but they don't look down on other people. Some people have an unhealthy self-esteem where they feel they're very great, and they also think that other people are not great, other people are not up to where they are, so that's unhealthy. But the healthy one thinks of themselves as someone who is very great and also believes that there are other great people. So that way it's a balanced one.
It's a balance.
It's a balanced one, yes.
Good. Now you just mentioned something about people who think they're good, they know they're good, but they try to bring people down.
Yes.
Now that's where low self-esteem comes in.
Yes, yes.
Why do these people actually think, or why do they experience such low self-esteem?
I think from upbringing, what they were told when they were children, the people who raised them, their nannies, domestic assistants, relative, parenting style, the school they went to, if they were bullied while they were in school, all of those things, and the things they tell themselves. There's nothing as powerful as self-talk. You know, very, very important that we tell ourselves the right things and that we believe the best of ourselves and also believe the best for other people. So that way it's very balanced. I can relate to people when I go anywhere. I don't feel, oh, I'm better than this person or I'm more beautiful. I believe that I'm beautiful, but other people also are very beautiful. And I have something great in me. You also have something amazing inside of you too. So I'm not going to go somewhere and start feeling, oh, I'm the best and nobody here is good enough. So, you know, that would make me even act low because that's not balanced. There's also superiority complex and there's inferiority complex. Oh. So that there has to be a balanced sense of self-worth for you to be healthy. Oh. Yes, because self-esteem, yeah.
So now we're talking about the healthy self-esteem and the poor self-esteem.
Yes.
But let's bring it home. Let's give examples. Let's give realistic signs. So that I can use that to even measure, to determine who I'm relating to and how they feel, and even understand why those things are coming out or those actions are coming from them. So what are the signs we need to look out for a healthy self-esteem and a poor or low self-esteem, as it were?
One of the signs is how we take care of ourselves. Self-care saves lives. I heard that on a series on Netflix, and that really was an awakening for me, that if you take care of yourself very well, you'll be able to do better, you'll be able to love other people, you'll be able to expect the best for other people. When I see someone who doesn't love themselves, doesn't take care of themselves, doesn't speak well of themselves, speaks negatively all the time, doesn't say the right things about themselves, looks down on other people, that person is actually going through a low self-esteem. From the way they dress, how they eat, everything about their way of living really tells me who they are and the kind of person. And then I don't judge. I'm not allowed to judge them because I'm a life coach. I understand that they have a challenge and they haven't been able to discover that they even have a problem, first of all. So, and then when someone has a healthy self-esteem, they're constantly encouraging other people. They're doing amazing work. They're investing in themselves. They're doing courses. They're trying to be better. They want other people to be better. They carry other people along. They're not threatened by other people's joy or personal development. They're not threatened about your achievements. They're very proud when you achieve something. They tell you, oh, wow, I'm so proud of you and well done. This is so amazing. And when they see opportunities they share with you, they're very easy to tell you, this is going on, you should check that out, that suits you. They're not afraid for their friends, for their colleagues at work to do excellent work. And then their team, they're very team oriented. They don't want to take all the praise at work. They'll tell their manager, I did this work with Mr. A, B, C, D. I wasn't the only one who did this work. Please, can you put your name on the slides?
Oh, so that means they'll make working environment very healthy,
easy. They're very kind. They believe everybody's amazing.
So now, because you talked about complexes as well, we need to understand what's the difference between self-esteem, confidence, and complexes.
Okay. So for me, self-esteem is all like a sum total of everything. How I think about myself inside. how I feel about myself. So what I would say is, the first thing for you to be able to overcome a low self-esteem is capture your emotions. When you start to feel certain ways, write them down. Oh, I heard this person got promoted and I feel a bit unhappy. I think this is jealousy. Write it down. I think I'm envious of this person. I keep checking on them on social media. I keep checking to know what they're doing. I think I'm envious. So accepting where you are challenged, where you have challenges, emotional challenges, is the first place for healing and restoring yourself to a healthy self-esteem. It's possible to change, but you must first of all capture emotions. You must know that this is what I'm dealing with and this is the truth, no lies. Then when you talk about complexes, they are built up over the years. These complexes don't start from the very moment you became an adult. They started from when you were a little child. When you see another child with another toy, you want exactly that toy, and your parents felt it was just a child.
Yes.
And they were not corrected.
I can relate to that.
Exactly. So when you start to correct these behaviors and explain to them that you don't have to have everything someone has, you don't have to buy the same clothes, so that when that child becomes an adult.
So now we're even talking about parents. How can the parent be of any assistance to a child
Very important.
who has that kind of esteem or is in that kind of situation?
So what I'm doing, I wrote a book called The Parent Organizer.
Parent Organizer.
Yes, it's a productivity manual for the 21st century parents who are very busy.
What's the name of the book again? Sorry.
Parent Organizer.
Parent Organizer.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So this book has everything. One of the first things you can do to build your child's self-esteem is to make sure you create affirmations with their names. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm humble. I love people. You know, so every morning they declare those things, and it's typed out and laminated
for them to see.
Kept in their bedroom in a file.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Mrs. Amy Nwogogo. Thank you for coming to Breakfast Central. We will be looking forward to having you next time.
Thank you.
On
No
the show.
problem. That's okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the very next segment, and we're talking about the papers that we have for you today.
You are still watching Breakfast Central on News Central TV with Olisa and Oluchi. Quite an interesting guest you had there, our personal development coach, MM, in there. Right now, let's go straight to the paper review. And we're starting out in Cameroon with the Guardian Post to see what they have for us this morning in Cameroon with the morning papers. Big headline, you have to say. And it talks about the NIMAT boss goes tough on illegal proliferation, circulation of firearms. So that's the top story there. A strategic meeting with AM dealers. Now, we have one at the bottom, talks about party officials accused of using money to buy luxurious cars. And that's MRC COVID-19 fund controversy, big one in Cameroon this morning. Also at the bottom left, Cameroonian woman pleads guilty of killing Polish husband. More down the front page, but still on page 7. Cameroonian's economy still breathing despite challenges, as a report. And at the top right, armed conflict in the northwest and southwest of the country says over 1,400 people displaced in March, and that's according to the UN. So there you have it from the front pages of Cameroon's paper, the Guardian Post.
All right, moving on from the Cameroon paper, we're going to the Daily Monitor. That's in Uganda this morning. Looking at the Daily Monitor, what do we have here? We have the new rental income tax sparks uproar. And this comes with mixed feelings because a lot of people are in support, while we have people on the other side of the balance who are not in support. We have more details on this on the Daily Monitor this morning. Still on the Daily Monitor, LRA's Dominic Oweng sentenced to 25 years in prison. More updates you will find in the Daily Monitor. Opportunities at QED Group, Save the Children East African Community, ETC. More details in the paper. Can online shows make artists any kind money? That's a big question that we have. Can online shows make artists the kind of money that they would have made if they were having the physical shows? Of course, with the coronavirus and with the new situation of things in the continent and even beyond, it begs to be answered. But you have more information on this in the Daily Monitor. Now you can see the picture right there. Oh, this was a ghastly accident. 14 people perished in the car crash, and the victims have been named. Quite unfortunate at this point in time. But you have more, all of this and much more in the Daily Monitor this morning.
Really sad front page there in Daily Monitor in Uganda. That crash was really looking horrific. All right, Oluchi, let's take our audience down to the southern part of Africa, to the Chronicle in Zimbabwe this morning. Let's leave Daily Monitor in Uganda. Let's go to the Chronicle. And this is what you have for the front page. Britain hails that's Zimbabwe, for taming machete gangs. Now, there was a talk about machete gangs going on a couple of years ago, but it says Britain hails Zimbabwe for taming machete gangs. Also on the front page at the bottom there, slogan chanting, home seekers stage sitting at housing office. And at the top right there, Victoria Falls, a very beautiful place in the country. Victoria Falls town clerk in court for graft. All of that on the front page of the Chronicle in Zimbabwe. And there you have it for the daily review of our newspapers.
All right, coming up next on Breakfast Central.
In the world of sports, Manchester United reached Europa League final and Arsenal are out.
And in the world of entertainment, Burna Boy's Ye certified gold in the USA.
We'll also give you the latest when it comes to COVID-19 updates on Breakfast Central. Well, you're still watching Breakfast Central, and you can catch us right here. Follow us on all social media platforms. We are at News Central TV on Twitter. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Every day, we talk about the beauty and wonder of talent, whether it's athletics, music, business, speaking, leadership, or writing. Now, there are individuals who seem to be perhaps born to do a certain thing. It's hard to describe, you might say, but like the color blue, you know it when you see it. Now, beatboxing first became popular in the 1980s and is a form of vocal percussion, primarily involving the art of making drum machines using one's mouth, lips, tongue, and voice. Beatboxing today is connected with hip-hop culture, often referred to as the fifth element of hip-hop, although it's not limited to hip-hop music. Well, I have with me in the studio Promise Agbo, who is a beatboxer and quite a talented one, I have to say. Promise, good morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Good morning.
All right, Promise, first of all things, why beatboxing and how did it start for you?
Okay, well, it started like a joke, honestly, because there's this video I saw online, father-daughter beatboxing, and I was like, is this even possible? Then it's okay, let me learn it. I went to YouTube and searched for tutorials, and I saw lots of tutorials, and I just started learning, play around in the house, and that's how I just learned it.
So for how long have you been beatboxing right now?
For 3 years.
3 years. That's pretty. That's pretty still fairly new.
Yeah. Yes, but if you can catch up, you can learn very fast.
All right. What about your parents or siblings or friends, family? You know, how have people reacted to this, your art of beatboxing?
When I started, you know, I was just making horrible sounds at home, and they say, "What are you doing? Just keep quiet." I'm like, they don't understand. So I just go to the bathroom, hide outside, practice and practice and practice, and I learned it. Then I went for a competition, and I won. Then they were like, "Oh, so you can actually do stuff with this."
Oh, so you won a competition?
Yes.
Beatboxing competition?
No, it's a talent competition.
Talent competition. Where? How?
In Cross River State.
Okay.
Because that's where I'm from. It was a state competition, so I came second.
Wow. And if it was a general talent competition, then beatboxing category, someone from beatboxing community, I'm sure if it was talent, we're talking about music, dance, and other stuff, and the beatboxing came out, then which means you must have blown them away.
Yes, I think I did my best, and they liked it.
All right. Tell us something about beatboxing that you think people don't know about, that we should know about beatboxing, aspects of it, you know, significant things about it that you've discovered in your 3 years in this journey.
Okay, well, beatboxing is one of the best ways to express yourself. You know, mostly I do it when I'm sad or just use it to express emotions. You know, and when you are expressing different emotions with beatboxing, you see that the sounds become different, and it also helps with the vocals. You know, it's unlike singing. Singing stresses the vocal cords. But beatboxing doesn't stress any part of it.
And is it limited to hip hop, or you think it's
no? What? You can do literally any genre of music, but the sounds have to be well layered.
All right. Speaking about sounds and what is well layered, I'm sure you're not going anywhere. You're staying with us. So Promise Agbo is still going to be with us right here on Breakfast Central. You don't want to miss the end of the show. He'll be giving us a first-hand taste of what beatboxing is, look like, sounds like, feels like, right here on Breakfast Central. Up next, right here, we're going straight to entertainment, and I've got the man himself, Sam Dandy, to tell us what the latest is. Good morning to you, Sam. Take it away.
Hi, of course, thank you for having me. So, of course, straight to entertainment, and Burna Boy is in the news once again. Of course, we know Burna Boy is a Grammy award-winning Nigerian. And what's interesting is his song, Ye, just got certified gold in the USA. Now, this is great news because what that means is he has sold over 500,000 units in America alone. Now, this is great, of course, because he performed that song at the Grammys, if you remember, virtually. And I decided to actually do a little more research. He's the first Nigerian to do this. Well, apparently, Davido actually has gotten gold certified in USA as well for both songs Fall and If, around 2020, last year, which is great. So we have Nigerians there as well. And in fact, for those who don't know, in September 2020, Wizkid became the first African artist to be certified gold, both as a featured and a lead artist in the United States. And of course, that was for his song Come Closer with Drake. So I mean, we have Nigerians doing great things. So not just Burna Boy, of course, we're celebrating Burna Boy right now for his song Ye, but then I'm talking Burna, I'm talking Fall and If by Davido, and Wizkid, of course, for Come Closer, which did great in USA and in other parts of the world, to be honest. So right, let's move on. And this one is particularly dicey. So Prince KB, who happens to be a great, DJ and musician from South Africa, is in the news. So what happened is DJ Prince KB, last week, some information came out on the internet that he was cheating. And then he came out to say, no, it's not true. Then pictures came out. I mean, let's say dicey or explicit pictures came out. And then, at some point he's like, it was photoshopped, but eventually he came out to admit that yes, he did cheat on his girlfriend. And then he followed that with, apology. He apologized to his girlfriend, Zola. And he said, I cheated, I humiliated my girlfriend publicly. To the people I have disappointed, the business I represent, my girlfriend and my mother, I profusely apologize from the bottom of my heart. Now, of course, we know him from great songs like Bano Moya. We know him from great songs. So in fact, it's crazy because Twitter has been, usually we see them being defensive, but Twitter actually has shown the artist some love. We've seen people say, you know what, we appreciate your music, it's fine. We like that you are honest. We like that, you are open about it. Well, I mean, I don't think Nigerians would do the same thing, but yeah, he's received nothing but love. But then for the female who actually came out to release his explicit pictures, of him, he said he's going to be pressing charges. So we're looking forward to, how this pans out and what happens. All right, so now let me move on to a documentary, right? A documentary by a Nigerian is going to be featured in Paris. Now, I'm talking a documentary on Makoko. You know, Makoko happens to be a community right under, you know, one of West Africa's longest bridges, third mainland bridge here in Nigeria. Now, it's interesting because this documentary is a VR. Now, what a VR means is virtual reality. So while we see VRs, people put on those glasses, and then, you know, it's like a reality in some form, of course, but not real, but you're watching it. So this filmmaker, Kachi Benson, right, has announced the world premiere of his latest project called Noah's Raft. Now, it's going to be a VR documentary, and of course, it's co-directed by Tal Harin. Now, it was shot in Makoko, and it's going to premiere on between June 9th and June 13th in 2021 in Paris. And I think that's super amazing because, yeah, it's Makoko, it's our community, you know, we see it every day. And I think it's great to see that, you know, someone took the initiative, you know, to put this out, and it's going to be premiering in Paris. So I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for people's experiences because it's VR. You know, VR is different. So I can imagine the technique he used to film this. I'm just looking forward to, you know, all that this is going to be and how successful it's going to be. So yeah.
Sam Dandy, well, thank you very much for the latest in entertainment. I can't wait, you know, to watch that documentary on Makoko. Yeah. But good to also know that, you know, Burna Boy certified gold for that. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, still Breakfast Central right here with Olisa and Oluchi. Let's go straight to some sporting information for you quickly. Manchester United are in the finals of this year's UEFA Europa League. Not a bad one for the Edison Cavani. Scored twice once again, that man there. And they lost that 3-2, but they've won 8-5 on aggregate to qualify for the finals, where they'll face who? Villarreal, led by former Arsenal boss Unai Emery. Now, Villarreal, well, had a goalless draw against Arsenal yesterday. It finished 0-0, which means Arsenal are out, sadly, of the UEFA Europa League. So there's no European competition for Arsenal next season for the first time in over 25 years. So there you have it. So the results, Arsenal drawing goalless away from at home against Villarreal, United losing but qualifying for the finals of the UEFA Europa League. So there'll be more sports much later on In the Game right here on News Central.
All right, now we'll move on to what else you can have later on News Central today. All right, we'll start with NC News now, 9 o'clock West African time.
If you want some sports, 11:30 a.m. In the Game, all the sports in action.
And later tonight, 9 p.m. West African time, we have the NC Continental Prime, all right here on News Central. All right, you're welcome back to News Central, and of course, this is Breakfast Central. Do not forget you can follow us on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We are at News Central TV.
All right, yes, indeed. Today has been quite a show, you have to say. Lots packed in, but we're not going to let you go without, you know, giving you some spice of what we talked about earlier, beatboxing. We still have Promise Agbo in our studios right here at News Central to give us a first taste. Promise, take it away from us.
Momo just an old maid five and another second to spare. Momo she's gonna really flame you on. Momo she's gonna really flame you on. She's an old maid five and that's she's an old maid five and don't spin down, oh, don't you know that you're a bad man? Oh, if you lay hands on a woman, reputation crumble to the sand. Oh, don't you worry, cause you're a bad man. Thank you.
All right.
Oh my God, that was amazing,
That was
Promise.
Fantastic. Wow.
Amazing, Promise. Huge talent. I don't know, you went from, is it techno to hip hop, to...
At some point, I just kept opening my mouth like, how about this guy just giving me the vibes? It is TGIF. He just made me understand and appreciate why we have TGIF on days like this.
All right, so first taste of beatboxing for me right here on Breakfast Central. Thank you very much, Promise, for coming on the program. Good luck to you. More awards, more beatboxing. That's for sure. Right then, well, Oluchi, it's been quite a program, you have to say, today.
It has. I mean, I'm looking forward to the weekend. The weekend is packed. I have so much to do for this weekend. But of course, we will be here again on Monday.
That's for sure. But many thanks to you for watching us right here on Breakfast Central. We'll be here once again, same time next week, Monday, for African breakfast served hot. On behalf of the cast and crew, we say have yourselves a wonderful weekend. We'll continue our beatboxing anyway. Right,
after this, right?
Yeah.
We'll continue. See you tomorrow, guys. Oh, Monday, I mean.
I'm learning.
No, we did this kind of this. What's this? Oh, my guy is good.